Hey, this is Michael, and today we are going to get juiced. Yes, today I am going to be reviewing the Breville, the Big Squeeze model BJS700. This is a 120 volt, 240 watt juicer. Comes with a 10-year warranty, and I'm going to be doing you a quick comparison with the Omega Vert VRT 350. All right, let's take a look at what we get out of the box with this thing. This is a very sturdy unit. Here is the motor assembly, 250 watts. And I'm going to show you the Omega VRT 350 in just a moment, but that is only 150 watts. They both come with 10-year limited warranties, which is great. But here's everything else you get. So this is the juicing bowl. Now, again, this is larger than the Omega VRT 350, a little bit larger. It actually has markings on it. This is the pulp chute, and it is a little bit larger than the Omega VRT 350. And this is where your juice is going to come out. And what I love about this juicer is it has a stopper, so you can actually stop the flow of the juice while you're juicing, and that is great for when you're juicing several different things at the same time and you want them to sort of pre-mix themselves. Otherwise, when you are juicing different things, you'll literally have layers of juice when it is extracted. So it's really kind of handy to have this. Plus, it's also handy if you just want to take a little juice and drink it while you're in the process of juicing. You can temporarily stop the flow of the juice, although the juicer can continue its operation. So that's really cool. This is the rotation wiper. This has little silicone fingers in it, and when you are in the process of juicing, this is what scrapes the screen here. And that is pretty cool. Now, this is a very large auger, and again, this is quite a bit larger than the auger than is in the VRT 350. Here is the little plunger that you use to push things down. Okay, so this is the lid, and you have this is where you want to put your hard items like carrots or apples or anything hard, and then you can push them through using the pusher like this. And then this over here is for softer things that you want to just drop in, and this is really handy. And it has a little stop here, so if you want to keep this closed, instead of having it be flipped open like this, you can actually close it. So that is a really nice feature. This is what your pulp is going to drain into, and this is what your juice is going to drain into. And why are they different? Well, this has a little spout on it, so when you're actually pouring your juice, you've got a little handle on this side, and it just helps you to pour the juice out of the container. This contraption, this is a cleaning tool, and what you do with this is you take this part, put it in here. There are little brushes in here, and under running water you can then use this, rotate it around, and it'll help clean all the stuff that'll be stuck in this little screen after you're done juicing. And they also give you a little cleaning brush here. So that is it. Let me put this thing together. Now, it's really quite easy to put together. First thing you want to do is you want to put the bowl on the juicer. And let me just show you one final thing on the juicer itself. You have a button here. Up is forward and bottom is reverse. So if you ever get something jammed in the auger, you can stop it and then put it in reverse, and that'll reverse the direction of the motor and hopefully get you back going again in no time at all. So another nice thing is here, there's a little colored dot on the top of this, and that is going to sync up with colored dots that are on other various pieces here. It just helps you get everything aligned and installed very quickly. So this basically just goes on like this, and the dot is to my left right now at about the 10 o'clock position. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the strainer into the rotation wiper, and it doesn't matter how it goes in there, but we are going to make sure that this dot lines up with this dot. and it goes like that, and then we grab the auger and just put that in there, make sure it meshes with the gear and goes all the way down. Next thing we're going to do is put the lid on. Now this also has a colored dot on it. Make sure that this metal part here fits into this little cup up here as you put this down, and also make sure that the dots are lined up. So this is the trickiest part because it just has to be precisely in there, and it'll just drop down when you get it just right like that. And then you just rotate this around. There's a little arrow here and a little arrow here that says lock. That means you're all locked into position. Now you're not supposed to operate this unless you have something in it that you're going to be juicing, but I just want you to hear, just very briefly here, the motor noise of this. It's very quiet. I don't have to talk any louder than I normally am. So that is a really great thing. Compared to the Omega VRT 350, this is quite a bit more quiet. So let me get this stuff out of the way. Now, anytime you're juicing, you want to cut things up into manageable sizes. So I just have a few things here. I'm not going to go crazy here with the juicing, but I'm going to use an apple. I've got some strawberries. We're going to talk about bananas. And then I've also got some kale, which I will also be using. So first thing, I'm just going to cut this apple. Now, there's a lot of controversy about apple seeds. I know a lot of juicers, they just figure the apple seeds aren't a big deal, and they're going to leave them in there. But I like to get the apple seeds out of there. There's some bad stuff in there, and if you eat a lot of apples, you don't want to have that accumulating in your body. And I also can't stress the importance of buying organic. When you're buying organic, you are assured that the skins of the produce that you're buying or the fruits is not going to have a lot of chemicals on it. Otherwise, you'd probably want to peel the apple. But there's nutrition in the skin, so I like to use it, and that's why I like to buy organic. Now, these chunks are probably a little too large. It's a pretty big apple, so I'm going to cut these a little smaller. And prep time is really the biggest thing when you're juicing, and usually it's a good idea to do all your prep ahead of time and get things ready to roll, and then when you actually start to juice, you don't have to slow down. Now, as far as the strawberries that I'm going to use, I'm not going to worry about taking the green off. Again, there's nutrition in there, and it'll get extracted. It'll come right out of here, out of the pulp chute. So you just put these two containers underneath the respective spouts, and you just start to put some stuff in here. Let's just start jamming a couple of apples in there, and then we'll turn it on, and we are juicing. So they do advise you not to run the juicer longer than 30 minutes in any continuous session. This is not a commercial unit, but 30 minutes is a pretty long time, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Strawberries, I'm just going to cut those up, even though I'm supposed to be using the soft thing here. A lot of times I just end up using the other, but I guess I can load them up in here, and then they just eventually drop down. The problem with doing it this way is if your thing is a little bit too large, sometimes it's going to sort of get stuck in there, and it's just a little bit of a hassle. Well, hassle's probably too strong a word. That's really not a hassle at all. Now we're going to talk about bananas. I don't juice bananas, and the reason is most of the banana is going to end up coming out of here instead of being actually juiced. Bananas are just really not the ideal thing to juice, so we're not going to juice the banana. But we are going to juice some kale, and again, I'm just going to put in a little bit, not a whole lot. Kale will definitely give you a distinctive taste, and kale, you do want to chop this up a little bit. Just makes it easier to get in there. And like I said before, usually you want to do your prep ahead of time. So I just shove it down here. You also do have the pusher here that you can use to push things in. If you were using carrots, you might need to use that, or celery. You can also juice beets. There's so many books out there on juicing that this is just a review of the product, not a cooking instruction manual per se. And I'm just going to close this up.
Okay, as you can see, everything gets stuck in here. It doesn't go, and everything gets